Ethan Caldwell had seen markets crash, companies collapse, and billionaires crumble under pressure, but nothing compared to the horror spreading across the 12 screens mounted along his office wall that Tuesday morning. Every number was turning red, not gradually, not one account at a time, but all at once like someone had flipped a switch controlling his entire empire. Billions evaporating in real time. No, this can't be happening, Ethan whispered, freezing, as if his body couldn't decide between running or collapsing. His throat tightened, and for the first time in years, the calm, stoic CEO felt his vision blur. Caldwell Global Investments. His life's work was being drained before his eyes. Megan Price, his senior assistant, burst through the glass doors, her face pale. Ethan, we've lost control of every server. Jason's team is trying, but it doesn't look good. He turned to her slowly. How much time? Before she could answer, his chief of cybersecurity, Jason Corbett, sprinted in with 3 engineers behind him, all frantic. Jason's voice cracked. 14 minutes before the transfers become irreversible. They're bouncing your money across offshore servers. I've never seen anything like it. Ethan felt the room tilt. 14 minutes to lose $3 billion. 14 minutes to lose everything that lifted him from a tiny apartment in Newark to a Manhattan penthouse. 14 minutes to lose the promise he made to his mother on her hospital bed that he would build something so big the world could never ignore a kid who grew up with nothing. His breathing quickened. We need the FBI, Jason said, or the NSA, or God. There's no time, Ethan snapped, pacing, fists shaking. Jason, fix this. I'm trying. Jason slammed his palm on the desk. This encryption, this worm, they've built something beyond anything we've ever seen. 10 minutes, then 8, then 6. Every keystroke from Jason's elite engineers led nowhere. Screens flickered, code malfunctioned, and the countdown toward permanent loss tightened like a noose. Megan covered her mouth. It's over. And then the office door creaked. A small shadow appeared. A little girl, 8 years old, tiny braids, oversized round glasses, wearing a faded purple t-shirt, stood shyly at the threshold. She hugged a bright pink laptop covered in flower stickers. Excuse me, she whispered. I'm sorry to bother you. My dad says I should sit quietly, but I heard yelling. Everyone froze. Megan knelt. Sweetheart, where's your dad? He's the building custodian, the girl said softly. I'm Ava Ramirez. Ethan barely glanced at her. 5 minutes left. 5 minutes until ruin. But Ava walked straight toward Jason's terminal like she belonged there. She pushed up her glasses. Oh, she murmured. It's a polymorphic encryption worm using triple-layer ransomware. Russian structure with Chinese backdoor architecture. Every adult stared. Jason blinked rapidly. What did you just say? They're using your own security protocols against you, Ava continued calmly. They created a feedback loop. Also, your firewall is outdated. Jason froze. Ethan turned slowly, and for the first time the billionaire looked at the little girl as if she were glowing. You understand this? Ethan asked. Ava bit her lip. Maybe. If I get access to your root server, I think I can stop it. Jason laughed, slightly hysterical. We couldn't crack this in 4 years. I'm not you, she said simply, opening the pink laptop. Ethan stared at her, torn between disbelief and the crushing reality of his situation. Logic said she was just a child, but logic had done nothing for him in the last 10 minutes. Ethan inhaled sharply. Do it. Ava nodded, sat down, and placed her pink laptop next to Jason's $40 cybersecurity terminal as if they were equals. Her fingers began to move. Fast, too fast. Faster than anyone in the room had ever seen. Jason's eyes widened. She's writing counter-encryption in real time while the worm is still evolving. That's impossible. 2 minutes. Ava didn't look up. She hummed quietly like a child coloring instead of dismantling the world's most sophisticated cyber attack. 1 minute, she whispered. Just need to reverse the blockchain verification. And she pressed enter. All screens went black. Ethan's heart stopped. Then a flash. Green. Green. All green. Money returning. Systems stabilizing. His empire resurrecting right in front of him. Megan burst into tears. Jason sank into a chair. Ava closed her laptop gently and smiled, shy but proud. "Fixed it," she said. "Your money will be back in about 30 seconds. I also patched your other security holes, but you should really upgrade your firewall." Ethan exhaled so hard he stumbled back into his desk. Jason checked logs with trembling hands. She didn't just stop the hack. She traced the attackers, 7 proxy layers, and she blocked them. Ethan, she counter-hacked the hackers. Ethan knelt in front of her, eyes full of something she didn't expect. Awe. "Ava, you just saved everything I've spent my life building." She shrugged lightly. "You looked sad." "I don't like when people look sad. Who taught you to do this?" "No one," she said simply. "Dad works a lot. Mom's been sick for years. I stay quiet. Computers keep me company." Her voice softened. "Am I in trouble?" "Dad said not to bother anyone." Ethan felt his chest ache. This child saved him, and she's still worried about being scolded. "No, sweetheart," he whispered. "You're not in trouble at all." But as he looked at her worn sneakers and sticker-covered laptop, a deeper question burned inside him. What else could this extraordinary child do if the world gave her a chance? And that was the moment everything began to change. Because in the next hour, when Ethan spoke to her father, Daniel, he would learn that Ava wasn't just gifted, she was surviving, quietly, alone, caring far more than any child should. And Ethan Caldwell, a man who thought he had seen everything, would realize he had just met someone who could change the world. If the world didn't break her first, if you suddenly discovered a child with unimaginable genius, would you protect her? Yes or no? Ethan Caldwell couldn't shake the image of Ava Ramirez sitting in his executive leather chair, her pink laptop glowing as she typed faster than any engineer he had ever hired. Even after the money returned fully to his accounts and Jason confirmed the threat was neutralized, Ethan's focus remained on that small girl with the huge, uncertain eyes. She had saved his empire, but she walked around the building afraid she had bothered someone. That contrast haunted him. So when he found her father, Daniel Ramirez, emptying trash cans in the conference hall at 6 that evening, Ethan approached him with a seriousness that made the man jump. "Mr. Caldwell." "I'm sorry," Daniel blurted immediately. "If Ava caused any trouble, I'll make sure." "Sit down," Ethan said softly. Daniel froze, confused. "Please." Ethan gestured to a chair at the long glass conference table. Slowly, Daniel sat. He looked small in the oversized executive seat, still wearing his custodial uniform. He twisted his wedding ring, eyes nervous. Ethan took a breath. "Your daughter didn't cause trouble. She saved my company." Daniel blinked. I don't understand." "She stopped a $3 billion cyber attack," Ethan said. "Your 8-year-old daughter?" Color drained from Daniel's face. "Ava, she's always been smart. Too smart, maybe. She reads everything she touches. She dismantled our microwave at 5 because she wanted to see the inside language. But we don't have money for special programs. I work 3 jobs." "And her mom?" He swallowed. "Her lupus got worse 2 years ago. Treatments cost more than we can handle. Insurance denied half of them." A quiet filled the room. "Ava knows," Daniel whispered. "She knows too much. That's why she tries so hard to be invisible. She feels like she needs to make our life easier somehow." Ethan felt something break inside him. This child who saved the financial future of hundreds of thousands of people was sitting alone in a dusty custodial hallway every day after school, afraid to speak, carrying guilt she didn't deserve. "Why didn't you ask for help?" Ethan asked. Daniel shook his head fiercely. "I'm a custodian, sir. Asking for help feels like failing my family." "You haven't failed anyone," Ethan said, voice rough. "Working 3 jobs is love, not failure." They sat there in silence until Ethan said the words that changed everything. "I want to help your daughter. She's extraordinary. I've never seen anything like her." Daniel looked terrified instead of relieved. "Mr. Caldwell, Ava is a child. Please don't let anyone use her." The desperation in his voice pierced Ethan. "No one will use her," Ethan said. "Not while I'm breathing." That night, when Ava returned to the office to meet Ethan in the private lounge, she walked in hugging her pink laptop like a shield. She looked smaller than she had earlier, almost fragile. But when she sat on the sofa and crossed her legs, the spark in her eyes returned. "How did you learn all this?" Ethan asked gently. "I wanted to understand things," Ava said. "Dad bought me an old used phone from a garage sale. It still had internet sometimes. I found videos about Python, then JavaScript, then cybersecurity forums. People post problems and solutions. I read them all. Computers make sense. People don't." She looked down. "Mom says I was born with a loud mind and a quiet voice." Ethan swallowed. "And if you could learn anything at all, what would it be?" Ava hesitated, legs still dangling above the floor. "I want to help people. Hospitals get hacked sometimes. Medical machines fail. I want to make a system that protects hospitals for free, so people like my mom don't get worse because someone broke a computer." Ethan couldn't speak for a moment. This girl didn't want money, didn't want fame. She wanted to stop suffering because she had seen too much of it. But before Ethan could promise her anything, Ava opened her laptop with a sudden seriousness. "Mr. Caldwell, the hackers aren't done." Ethan leaned forward. "What do you mean?" She pulled up logs, maps, patterns he didn't understand, but immediately sensed were important. "They're practicing," she whispered. "Your company wasn't their target. It was a warm-up." For what Ava pointed at the shifting lines of code. Multiple banks, investment firms, even the stock exchange. They want to attack everything at once in 11 days. Ethan felt his stomach twist. "How do you know?" "Because I can see their fingerprints. They're hiding, but not from me." He exhaled. "I need to call the FBI." "They won't believe you," Ava said. "Grown-ups don't think kids can see what they don't." She wasn't wrong. A billionaire claiming an 8-year-old had uncovered a national threat sounded insane. "So, what do we do?" Ethan asked. "We build a defense," Ava said. "Like a vaccine. If you let me work on your servers, I can create something strong enough to protect everyone." He stared at her, conflicted between hope and fear. "Ava, this is too much responsibility for a child. But if we don't try," she whispered, "millions of people could lose everything. My mom could lose her medicine. Your employees could lose their jobs. People could get hurt. Please let me help." Her hands trembled, but her voice didn't. And Ethan realized something. Ava might be a child, but she carried the world on her shoulders anyway. Telling her no wouldn't protect her. It would only force her to watch disaster unfold in silence. "All right," he said softly. "We'll do it. But you're not doing this alone." He called Jason. He gathered the entire cybersecurity department. He cleared a corner office with a workstation Ava could reach. And when the engineers saw what she was capable of, disbelief turned to awe. For the next 4 days, Ava arrived at 3:30 every afternoon after school and stayed until 8. Her tiny hands flew across the keys, building something Ethan couldn't even begin to comprehend: a distributed defensive architecture inspired by how viruses spread and how vaccines stop them. Jason watched her work like a scientist, witnessing a new force of nature. But as the hours passed, Ethan noticed other things too. The way Ava checked her phone every few minutes for updates about her mother's health, the tension in her shoulders, the exhaustion creeping into her face. One evening, he found her quietly crying at her desk. "Ava, talk to me." She wiped her face quickly. "Mom is back in the hospital. Dad said it's just tests, but I heard him crying in the bathroom." "I shouldn't cry. It's selfish. I'm supposed to be helping." Ethan knelt beside her. "You're 8. It's okay to be scared." "I don't have time to be scared," she whispered. "If I learn enough, maybe I can get a real job and pay for Mom's medicine." Ethan felt tears sting his eyes. "You're not alone anymore," he said. "Let me help your family." The next morning, he contacted his private physician and arranged immediate specialist care for Maria Ramirez. The results were shocking. There was an experimental treatment with incredible success rates, but it wasn't covered by insurance. Ethan didn't hesitate. "Do it. I'll handle the cost." That afternoon, when Ava learned her mom would finally receive the treatment she needed, she threw her arms around Ethan. "You saved her. You saved my mom. You saved me first," Ethan whispered. But then Jason came running into the room breathless. "The attack moved up," he said. "It's happening tonight, and Ava's system isn't finished." Ava inhaled sharply. "We need more time." "You don't have it," Jason said. Ethan looked at Ava, the child who had already given too much, standing there with her fists clenched, and she whispered, "Then I guess we don't sleep tonight." Night fell over New York like a warning. Inside the top floor of Caldwell Global Investments, every light was on, every screen awake, every technician tense. And in the center of it all sat Ava Ramirez, her feet barely touching the floor, typing with the intensity of someone twice her age, and with a responsibility no child should ever carry. Jason monitored the monitors. Ethan paced behind them, every muscle tight. At 12:47 a.m., the first alert hit. "They're in," Jason said, voice hollow. A wave of red flooded the wall of screens like blood rushing through digital veins. Ethan felt the familiar terror return. But Ava didn't flinch. If anything, she grew calmer, leaning closer to the code, like she was listening to a language only she and the machines understood. "They're testing smaller banks first," she whispered. "Next, they'll go for the stock exchange. We have 30 minutes before everything collapses." Jason muttered, "God help us." Ava didn't pause. "No. We help us." Her fingers moved faster. The attack intensified, hundreds of thousands of breach attempts per minute. Systems all across the country flickered under the strain. Ethan gripped the back of her chair as if he could hold the world steady through her. Then something incredible happened. Ava's defense system came alive, adapting in real-time, learning, shifting, evolving with every strike. What one company's server learned, it passed to the next, a network of protection spreading like light across the digital sky. Jason gasped. "It's working." But Ava's face was pale.